Hi guys, today we're gonna talk about the differences between Ukraine and the USA. We're gonna talk about cultural differences. The first thing which I noticed here, that people walk at home wearing the shoes, despite our parents would kill us. We're not allowed to wear shoes at home. You know, in our country it's considered if you're walking in the shoes in my house, it means like you don't respect me because I spend my time cleaning the house and you don't care. And I guess here it's a little bit different just because here the streets are much cleaner than in Ukraine because we have lots of dust on the streets, but here no, it's like basically concrete everywhere. We are not allowed to sit on the bed sheets at home in the clothes which we wear outside. Our parents would kill us, but I noticed that people here do it quite often. People here do get surprised why I come to someone's place, and if the person offers me to sit on the bed, I always remove the bed sheets and I sit on the mattress, because in our culture it's also like, you know, we are clean freaks, and we have clean bodies and we sleep there in the bed, on the bed sheets. We don't sit on the bed sheets in the clothes which we wear outside. Every girl has to know how to cook. If the girl doesn't cook in Ukraine, it's like, oh my god, she doesn't cook, oh my god, your parents didn't educate her how to cook. You know, my grandma used to tell me, she's like, oh, I will feel sorry for your future husband because you don't know how to cook. You know, in Ukraine, every girl has to know how to cook. And if the girl doesn't know how to cook, mainly it's like, oh my god, you didn't educate your girl how to cook. And I'm like, come on, guys. I love USA because there are lots of places where you can order really good food, where you can go and buy already ready-cooked or pre-cooked food, and it's still good and delicious. Of course, with my crazy schedule, I do cook a lot at home, but the way I do it, I just like, you know, I cut the vegetables and meat, for example, chicken, and I put it in the oven and I bake it. Or I survive on salads or oats, granola. I love it so much. But in Ukraine, you have to cook the appetizer, you have to cook soup, you have to cook main course, then desserts and all of that, you know, like in Ukraine, people are addicted to food. Ukrainian girl cannot be messy at all, at all, because, you know, like our society will tell you, oh, you're such a messy girl, why you didn't clean it? Or, you know, like people will start to discuss, like even your neighbors, they will start to discuss that you didn't clean something in your house. Despite in the USA, people, they are not like, they're not so judgmental like in Ukraine. So yes, of course, I've met a few people who are also clean freaks like me. People here sometimes can have huge mess at home, but they don't care what society will tell them. But in Ukraine, you will hear a lot about you if you are a messy person. In Ukraine, it's very rare that the guy would not open the door to a girl when she wants to get out from the building, or she is getting in the building, or he would not give a hand to a girl when she's getting out from public transport. Despite in the USA, you can see it quite often. And it was really surprising for me because, you know, like if the guy would do that in Ukraine, we would think that, you know, his parents didn't educate him properly, and for us it's like not normal at all. In the USA, I went for a few dates before, and I was telling to the guys, so I was like, listen, you have to open this door for me, and you have to open the door of the car for me. It's like something what you have to tell to a person to do, because here the women are a little bit different from us. They like to be equal, and they don't want to feel that they are lower than men. despite in our society we like to feel like a woman. And the guy would open the door and you feel yourself like a princess, and he is a prince. But here it's a little bit different situation. Higher education in Ukraine is a must, despite in Ukraine it's not like something very important. In my country, people will tell you, what? You didn't go to university? But here people, they just like, okay, so what? I didn't go to university. For me, it was like mind-blowing, because in my country, parents try to save money, but they will educate a kid in university. But here, it's just like 50-50. Of course, like, you know, there are some families here, and I do respect that, and I like it so much. There are families here who tell their kids that they have to enter university, they have to study well in school, and after that they have to enter the university. Huge respect to such families. Ukrainians don't drink tap water. You know, I was surprised that here people drink tap water, and you know, like, I used to bring bottles of water with me when I go to work, and once my boss said like, what? Why do you carry bottles with you? And I was like, just because the water from the tap is very dirty. I cannot drink from the tap, because in Ukraine you would never do that. And he turned to some other of my colleagues and he was like, guys, all of you drink water from the tap? But I was like, really? I was like, it's so dirty. And he was like, no, you're mistaken, because the water in the tap in Chicago is much cleaner than the water which you buy in the bottles. And I was like, really? And he explained to me that the water which we have here is taken from the lake, and it's cleaned properly, and then we are getting it in our taps. I was like, wow, such a news for me. So since that time I started to drink water from the tap. But in Ukraine you cannot do that. The water there is like so dirty. And when you drink it, you will feel chlorine. Tips in Ukraine. When you go to the restaurant, you leave, for example, 10-15% tips, and if the person did really good service. Here it's a little bit different. Here you have to leave 20, 30, 25% tips. But here the waiters, they get, I guess, $7 or $10 per hour, but they're getting much higher tips than what our waiters get in Ukraine. In the USA, the owners of the business always care about the service which their company provide to people, despite in Ukraine it's a huge question. You know, I have a situation when I went to one clinic in Ukraine and I did some procedure, and after that I was not satisfied with the results of that procedure. But you know, like what they told me, they were like, oh, we can give you discount. I was like, are you joking? I was like, discount? I was like, I paid $200 for 20 minutes. I was like, it's not about discount. I was like, I just want my money back. And they were like, no, we cannot do that. And I was like, guys, if you're not gonna do it, I was like, I'm gonna upload to YouTube absolutely every single footage I took in your clinic. And after that, they said like, yes, we're gonna give you money back. But it was only a time when I said that I have a video footage and I'm gonna upload it to YouTube, because they were afraid of bad advertisement for the clinic, and it was like very big and well-reputed clinic. My friend who recommended me to go and do this procedure there, she told me, I'm really sorry, I didn't know, because they are considered one of the best. And I said like, it's not your fault, but it's just like, you know, the doctor didn't care what he is doing. If you're curious what I did Fraxel erbium. They didn't have Fraxel CO2, and 0 results for $200. You know, in the USA, even the owners of $1 store care about your opinion, and they do absolutely everything that you would be satisfied. You know, I used to live in the building where we used to have a small shop where everything was so cheap, and I used to buy stuff for $1, $2, $3, $5, and many stuff they were not working. But I used to come back there and I used to talk to the manager. I was like, listen, whatever I buy in your shop, it's not working. He was like, just bring it back, I'm gonna replace it for you. Oh, do you want money back? I was like, no, I don't want money back. I was like, I want replacement. And even, you know, like when I was looking for the charger for the camera, and I needed an adapter, guess where I went? I went to that old building and I asked him, I was like, listen, I live very far right now, but I came here just because I remember the service which you provided last time. Here people treat pets like their own members of the family. I was really surprised because, you know, like what people do here, when they travel, they take their dog or cat with them to vacation. I was like, are you serious? And they were like, yeah, of course. And when I asked this question, they were like really surprised. And if you don't know, the air ticket for the dog or for cat costs lots of money. And plus you have to prepare lots of documents. It's just not like, let's take a cat or dog with me. No, it's not like that. You have to do huge effort. Despite in Ukraine, if we travel for vacation, we leave the dog or cat at home and we ask some relatives to come look after your pet, to feed your pet, just to clean after your pet, or we take our pets to someone to look after the pet when we are on vacation. So it was pretty surprising for me here. Here people discuss absolutely freely, absolutely everything. I was really surprised because in Ukraine we don't do it. We are more closed-minded people. We would never ever discuss with who we went on a date or who we slept last night. You would discuss such stuff with the person who is very close to you, or maybe your parents or your sister, brother, but not some random people. And what was surprising for me here, that we went to a restaurant and we were sitting having dinner, and people, they were discussing who they slept with. Me, I'm just like, it was mind-blowing. I was there with my boyfriend, and he knew that for me it would be a really shocking thing. He was looking at my reaction. I looked at him and he was like, it's the USA. I was like, okay, I got it. But as my friend said, Victoria, don't show to people that you are shocked. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to. To buy a house and a car is so affordable in the USA because you can get mortgage. Despite in Ukraine, you can get mortgage, but with super high interest. When I wanted to buy a flat in Ukraine, and I took a loan in Dubai and I bought a flat in Ukraine, but at that time I was like, let's check. So when I checked, bank interest was 19%. 19. Just think about it. Despite in the USA, you would pay only 4 or 5%, 5% maximum, but some banks give you like 3.5, 3.2, 4%. It's the same for cars and houses. You just do down payment, for example, 20%, and then you just would pay this mortgage during 20 years, let's say. In Ukraine, it's almost the same. You would do down payment, but down payment would be maybe like 40, 30, 50%, and then you take mortgage and 19%. You know, like I calculated, even if I do mortgage in Ukraine for 10 years, I would give to my bank one flat in interest. It's just like really shocking. Guys, if you like this video, give me some likes, and if you have some questions, write them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell. You will get notified as just I'm getting new videos on my channel. If you have some questions, you also can contact me in Instagram. I'm always there and I always reply all the messages. Have a great day. Bye bye.